Okay, we're moving on to the final thing on the interior, at least for right now. I just started it up. Well, my battery was dead, so I got a battery charger on it now. I don't know if the battery's going dead or not. I don't know when it was put in. But doing the last thing on the interior are the door panels. I've got this one all sanded down now. I may have to do some more sanding on it, but it was atrociously done. And by the way, that was done by me. I didn't know what I was doing when I first got the truck, and I just slapped some paint on it. And it didn't turn out well. It wasn't really made for plastic, because I didn't like the way the paint laid down. This is going to have to, this was all black at one point. Painted over black. And I'm going to have to roll some texture down on here, for sure. But I got to clean it up and see what it looks like, wash it with SEM soap and wash, and then we'll see what it looks like. It may take more sanding, and then there's prep, primer, oil adhesion promoter, then primer, and then texture coating in a few places here. Definitely going to be texture coating in here, because all of the texture is pretty much gone, or at least is significantly gone. And then we'll roll on. I also have a problem with my fuel gauge. It was working, but remember, I replaced panels, and I thought for sure it was working pretty well. But I know I got a full tank, and it's only registering 3/4. Could be my sender that has gone bad. I mean, I figured I have to drop the tank anyway on this baby, but that's just one more thing to do. I was kind of hoping to have a little respite, but we'll see what happens. It could be a ground. I don't know. I have to do some looking into this, but more than likely it's either the gauge or the sender. And if it's the gauge, I have multiple gauges that I could use. At least I have one extra fuel gauge here. So, and of course I have the fuel gauge on the original, so that'll be the process of elimination to begin with. Prep is first, soap, then the prep, then the adhesion promoter, then the flexible primer, one coat, then texture coating, then flexible primer, then the color. Okay, I'm on the the driver's side door panel, and I just want to do a quick thing here and show you. This is what happens when you paint with a non-plastic paint over plastic, and as you can see here, that the paint here is pretty thick, and it covered up. You can see here I'm scraping it back. Let me just try a little bit here. See how it peels up? Here, I'm peeling up the paint that covered up the what's the word for it? The original formatting, wrong word, formatting of the door, the grain, if you will, that it was pressed into texture. And so I was pretty lucky on this one. I didn't get that chance on the passenger side. I don't know why. It stuck pretty well. But on this side, it's coming up. Now, this doesn't mean that I won't still texture a bit of this, because not all of it's going to come up probably. But there's a good significant part here in certain places that is going to come up and come off. Now, this paint needs to come off. So when we put the good paint on it, it'll stick. But it'll retain the texture. So we'll show you that later. Well, I've been busy uploading videos lately, and Dahlia came through, and I just decided to upload videos all day long. So after I replaced the metal in the truck, which you're gonna see in a previous video that I haven't uploaded yet, I just thought I'd give a real quick view of what's coming up, including an extension of the intro video, which you probably have seen or not seen since it just got uploaded not too long ago. But let's check out the interior. Probably should take this off just so you could just see what the dash looks like. Totally redone. Part of the reason why you want to use a satin paint is because when the sun hits it, it's not glossy and reflecting back into your face like that. But anyway, I put a cover on this. I don't know why, I've always liked these. It reminds me of the 1970s, you know, when people used to do this to, actually, they used to use these to cover up their cracked dashes, but people kind of forget that they used to use them also because these dashes were so small or tiny with not a lot of space or slanted that you couldn't really set anything on top of it without it sliding into the defrost and whatnot. And by the way, I found that when I first got this, I ripped everything out except for the plenum, but I found fishing line, ballpoint pens right in the plenum. So anyway, this is the dash redone. I will say there's something that I'm not really happy with, and that's right here. For some reason this didn't take. Now what I might do is get a little bit of Minwax and run over this to shine this back up again. But I don't know, but everything else in this went on pretty well, I have to say. The dash was the cluster gauge, everything has been done pretty well. I've got to do something with my CB speaker that I've mounted right there, by the way, which is okay. And then of course I've got this right here, which goes behind that, and I've got to figure out a way to wire this in to a switch or the lights or something, because it doesn't light up down there, and they never had it that way, so I found a bulb that I'm going to put in there. So I've got a couple of small things to do here, but other than that, it all looks pretty good. Now this is a monstrosity. I totally understand the reason why I did this is right here is because the truck isn't garaged, and even though it's all reupholstered, and there's the reupholster job part of it anyway. The reason why I did this is because I like this part of the seat. That's all redone. This is all brand new reupholstery. But I wanted to put a saddle blanket on it. One, because I kind of like them, because they have pockets, and you know, I like the old style pockets. Of course, you know, maybe I should have just put a regular bench in there, a bench that was made for this truck. But this is a 1987 bench, and I liked the armrest that pulled down. So what I did, which I know it doesn't look fabulous, I know, believe me, but anyway, I cut it, and because these saddle blankets do unravel, I took it to a machine and basically sewed it and then covered this, but left it a flap so I could bring it down if I ever wanted to. The reason I put this on is because I want to protect it from the UV rays for right now. If we get it garaged and whatnot, it'll probably all come off, and I'll have the original seat covering here, which, by the way, it looks really good. I mean, it looks really, really good. And I'll put a link in the description to which I might have already in one of my other videos, but I'll put a link in the description for this, just to make sure that you know that I got it from Stock Interiors. Other than that, everything else, you know, I mean, these are old, they look decent, the paint job looks great, but you know, these maybe have to be replaced at some point because of the wear and tear on it. I mean, these were in pretty rough shape, worse shape than the cab pillars back here, which could be easily saved. But there's some texturing here that's going on that I'm not really happy with. So now what next? What next? What are you doing next? You'll see this in the video that I stand by. I gotta go get my cigar. I mean, jeez, I don't have a sandwich, but I need my cigar.
It's sandwich time. Maybe in the morning before we go. I'm not gonna do it then either.
Okay, I'm back. In the intro video to the garage, I had these babies right here. And so I just want to show you this is what I'm going to do next. I gotta sand these down here, make them all nice and pretty, and so they'll snap into place, you know, if they ever need be. And then I've got to fix some of the crack which is visible here. I'm going to use a glazing putty, which I've mentioned before. That's going to be done. And then it is on this one here, right here. This here I glued. I use a Gorilla Glue or an epoxy, Gorilla Glue epoxy, just to make this in place. And then I'm going to wrap it. I'll show you, and I'm going to resin it to restore it. Now the other one over here, which also has a pretty nice hefty crack right here, has no tab at all right here. So I'm going to have to fab it from the beginning, from scratch, and I'll show you that too. So those are two pieces that I'm going to restore coming up. Next is going all the way back weeks now. I've got a couple of pieces here. These go on the bench seats, and they sort of slide in, snap in, or screw in right here. And this one was chewed up bad, so I started to restore it, restore some of the edges here. And because I did that, it's going to need to be reshot with a satin black. Of course, I'm going to use SEM Paint to do it. So these two things, and then these two on plastic restoring are going to be done next. All right, and that's pretty much it. Let's get to it. Okay. What I did here is I'm just fashioning the lip back because it kind of clips over the what do you call it? It's amazing how, you know, I know what I'm talking about, and then when I get on camera, I don't know shit. It goes over the door molding, weather stripping, that type of stuff. So anyway, I'm just cleaning it away.